So we are going to talk a little bit about my story, and that is that stigma is alive and well, but so am I. So my name is Gracie, and I have CRPS, Complex Regional Pain Syndrome. That's rated the most painful chronic pain disease known to modern medicine, and it is a qualifying condition in the state of Illinois. It's not a qualifying condition in all states, but it is one of the recognized conditions in this state. However, I also have all of these ailments, and none of them are qualifying conditions in this state, which is kind of unfortunate. And I have my own self-diagnosis, which is chronic badass. I think if I can survive all of those things every day, and that's what I do, is I survive these things. I don't suffer with these things. I survive them. I'm entitled to that diagnosis. So I've spent the better part of the last 10 years trying to educate people as best as I can and reach out to other people like myself to teach them this, and pretty much this alone, is that this is what an invisible illness looks like. And although it's invisible, it's definitely not silent. I may look well, but I don't feel well. Because what you see on the outside is definitely not what's going on the inside. And it's hard for people to understand because they don't see it, but I definitely feel it. It's invisible, but it's not silent. So over those 10 years, I've tried a lot of things, and I understand that you can't read that slide, and definitely the online viewers cannot read that slide, but I have tried a lot of things. And I've done them publicly because I believe that knowledge is power. I've shared my experiences with all of these treatments with my online support group, and my online friends are all around the world, because that, at the time, was the only support that I had, were the people inside of my computer. And some people don't have access to a lot of those treatments. They don't have the same insurance. Some are experimental, some are a little crazy, but as long as they were safe and ethical, I tried them, and I shared that. Cannabis is not on that list, and there's a reason for that. The reason why I shared all these treatments and tried all these treatments and reached out to so many people is because of statistics like this. Chronic pain affects more people in the United States than diabetes, heart disease, and cancer combined. And as an advocate, it's my job to research all of the treatments, and that includes cannabis. So while I hadn't tried it, I was still sharing information and research about it. And there's not a lot of research in the United States because I believe the United States holds the patent on cannabis, and I don't think it's legal to research it here. So most of the research is coming out of other countries, I think primarily Israel. I don't know, the doctors will speak more to that. But I was sharing the information that I could find. So I was learning, and what I was learning was that not only is cannabis beneficial for chronic pain, it was also beneficial for diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. All of those things. And that was pretty astounding to me. In fact, it's beneficial for a whole lot of things. Now again, I have no medical training, so I'm not gonna talk to that. I'm gonna let the doctors talk to that. We have some really amazing presenters coming up today. But I was finding this a little bit fascinating. But there's still that stigma. And I'm a chicken. Are there any other people like me in the audience? Oh, I see some hands, yeah. So I'm a chicken, and I'm not afraid to say that. I am a total chicken. Because I was raised like this. Who remembers the Partnership for a Drug-Free America? Yeah, so we're all revealing our ages here, right? So I'm 44, and I was raised in that generation. Those commercials were all over the TV. This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. It was so scary. You know, I mean, I didn't want to be that fried egg. And I was raised by a really conservative single dad. That ugly little redheaded girl would have been beaten bloody with a shovel and buried in the backyard had she ever considered trying any kind of drug at all. And my brain would have looked like a fried egg. Now, you guys can laugh, but there are people watching right now on the live stream at home that knew my dad, and they're not laughing. They're like nodding their heads, and they're going, oh yeah, she'd have been dead. It's true. So that stigma, whether it's the rest of society or it's just what was indoctrinated in my head, it was alive. Even though I knew the research, I knew it in my brain, what I felt in my heart was stronger. So what changed, right? Why am I the one here doing a cannabis education expo? There are a lot of people, believe me, that messaged me, even people that blocked me on social media, because I'm the one doing a cannabis education expo. One of our presenters today said to me, I can't believe you're doing a cannabis education expo. Well, Mark Twain said, an open mind leaves a chance for someone to drop a worthwhile thought into it. So I really just had to open my mind a little bit. And my desire to get better became larger than my fear of the unknown. And I've said that about many treatments. So I decided that I just didn't care about that stigma. I only have one body, and I only get one chance to get it right. And I had given up pharmaceuticals, I don't know, quite a few years ago. They just didn't work for me. So I started to learn. I actually got a card 2 years ago because I wanted to have cannabis dispensaries at this expo, at the Midwest Pain Treatment Education Expo. And when I called them, they were hanging up on me. And I kept saying, but wait, just Google my name. Just Google this expo. You'll see I'm not DEA or anything. And I got so mad that they were hanging up on me. And I thought, well, I'm going to get a card, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to make them face me. It took like 2 months to get a card. And by the time I had the card, I already had distributors, so I didn't make anybody face the music. And once I had that card, it still took me 2 months to actually go to the dispensary because I was so scared. And when I did, I was sure my dad would strike me with lightning. But he didn't. I got lucky. He must have been doing something else in heaven that day. But I was so scared that I took my phone with me, and I made a Facebook Live event of it because I needed that support. And so I did that from the car all the way across the parking lot to the door, where they made me shut it off because that's illegal. So I still didn't really get the support, but at least I had the courage. So I'm not going to go into much detail about the cannabis itself. I'm just going to talk about my experience. I'll let the others do that. But from a very broad level, you can inhale it, you can ingest it, and there's topicals. And there is much more detail on this because, believe me, every time I talk to someone in the cannabis industry, I learn. And I am such a novice at this. But what I really learned is, how should I use this? How should I consume it? And there's some questions you need to ask yourself or ask your professional that you're working with. Do I need to medicate discreetly? What if I have a low THC tolerance or I don't want THC? And is my pain localized or is it everywhere? And do I need sustained effects? And your answers to those questions can help guide you into which products you need. That's kind of a breakdown that has kind of helped guide me a little bit. So my experience overall has been that I have never smoked anything. I have never been high. Cannabis does help with the pain that I have. The cannabis helps me sleep. The dispensary employees are extremely helpful. And medical cannabis can help even the most conservative of us. And that's me. And I have learned that I still have a lot to learn. So we have some amazing presenters coming up today. I hope that you have a chance to hear them all. And if you don't, This is all recorded, and all of them will be on our social media channels. Dr. Tersha Hamilton is a naturopath. Dr. Rahul Kare is from Innovative Express Care. He is a family practice physician. Dr. Jay Joshi is an interventional pain management physician and anesthesiologist. Maja Suleimanji Bordacek from the Greenhouse Group has a master's in public health. And Rebecca Sewell is an amazing human being that is a medical cannabis patient and had a miraculous, what I call miraculous, recovery with medical cannabis. It's a story you won't want to miss. So thank you for coming today, and today is Earth Day, so happy Earth Day, everyone.